Hello, I am Brad Dold with Wilson Myers & Dold CPAs, and in this video I'm going to show how to make the California Pass-Through Entity Elective Tax online through California's website. In summary though, the California Pass-Through Entity Elective Tax is a significant state tax workaround designed to help qualified businesses and their owners mitigate the federal $10,000 state and local tax, or SALT, deduction cap. This elective tax allows eligible pass-through entities pay state and income tax at the entity level rather than the individual level. In order to make this tax payment, you would go to the California Franchise Tax Board payment page, which you can search by FTB tax payment, or go to ftb.ca.gov/pay. From here, you can select to make a payment through your bank account, and this pass-through elective tax is paid at the business or entity level, and so you then select business, use WebPay. From here, you would select the entity type. If you are being taxed as an S corporation, you would select corporation. If you are being taxed as an LLC, you would select the limited liability company. For this example, we're going to use our firm, which is being taxed as an S corporation. Next, you would have to have the California Entity ID number. This number can be found on the California tax return for the business, the vouchers that we provided for the estimated or entity tax payments, or can be searched online through the California Secretary of State. Since this number is public information, I'll show you what it looks like on a payment voucher for our firm. Here is an estimated tax payment voucher, and the California S Corp number is shown right here. If you are being taxed as an LLC, the number should be showing up right here. So we're going to take this number and put it in here. Next, it wants the person making the payment's name. Next, it's selecting the form type. It should be this first one, regardless if you're an LLC or an S corporation. For an S corporation, the California form filing is 100S. For a LLC, it is form 568, and it should be showing up right there. Hit continue. Next is selecting the type of estimated or type of payment that you're making. For the pass-through entity elective tax, it should be this last one here. If you're making your annual $800 tax payment, it would be this first one. Or if you're making any of the quarterly estimated payments for the business, it also would be this first one. But for the pass-through entity elective tax, it needs to be this form 3893 there. Next, you would select the tax year that you're making this payment for. Right now, we're making this payment for the 2025 tax year, and so we'd say January to December 31st, 2025. And then you would select the dollar amount with cents. So you need to put that in there. If this is your first year making the pass-through entity elective tax, the June 15th payment would be $1,000. If you are making, if you've made the pass-through entity elective tax in previous years, the dollar amount would be 50% of whatever your 2024 total pass-through entity elective tax was. It would be due on June 15th. If you did make that, we should have provided you with a voucher showing you that dollar amount for 2025. Select the date you want the payment by. To make the pass-through entity elective tax, you need to have the payment done by June 15th. Once you've done that, you then would put in your account number and routing and account number for your bank, and select the bank and checking and hit continue. Once you've done that, you should receive a confirmation of the payment being received. Please the pass-through entity elective tax is due on June 15th. The second payment is due on March 15th of the next year with the tax return, with possibly a recommended payment to be made in December to get the full benefit of the deduction in the current tax year. If you have any questions, please let us know.